International oil prices have recently risen to their highest level since 2018 as global oil demand is now poised to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. Now here to speak to us on the fuel increases, I'm joined in studio by the Director of the National Energy Fund, that is Saima Neke, as well as Abednego Ekandjo, an economist in the Ministry of Mines and Energy. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Thank you very much for being here.
Morning, Elago. Thank you for hosting us.
You're welcome. Now, I'd like to start with you, Mr. Ekandjo. Please, first and foremost, can you share with us the adjusted fuel prices?
Yes, government took a decision to adjust the fuel prices for the month of November 2021. That is the prices of petrol and diesel. So on the prices of petrol, we are adjusting by 50 cents, and on the prices per liter, and on the prices of diesel, we are adjusting by 70 cents per liter. And this came into effect yesterday, the 3rd of November.
What necessitated this increase?
These increases were necessitated because we have seen that a combination of both demand and supply factors has actually led to huge under-recoveries in the prices that were set by the government. So in terms of the demand, what we are witnessing is that as the world economy continues to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic, the big economies in the world are demanding more oil, more petroleum products, while supply has remained tight. So this has led to an increase in the international barrel prices of petroleum products, as well as the exchange rate, which is not favorable at this point in time, and shipping costs are also on the increase. So these are some of the factors that contributed to these increases.
Ms. Neke, talk to us about the under-recoveries recorded in the month of October and their contributions to the adjusted diesel and petrol prices for the month of November.
Well, you are welcome. In controlling the product, the petroleum product in the country, the Ministry of Mines and Energy look at certain variables. And one of that key variable is actually the prices in that specific month, on the previous month, that the adjustment needs to be effected going forward. That being said, in October, when we then reconciled the international prices in the global market where these products are being sourced, we then realized that our local prices were below what the importers have actually incurred when they brought in the fuel that we consumed for October. And that leads to the under-recovery between the importation price and the price at which we set our local prices during the October month. That being said, the fuel product has been brought in, they sold it, and we expect then the importers to recover all the costs that they have incurred at the pump price. But then knowing that now the pump price was low, it means that they have incurred a loss in their trading. And that loss needs to be compensated. At that point, we are not looking at adjusting fuel price for them to recover that loss, because that is a past loss now. Somebody has to come in and actually compensate them, because they will not recover that price at the pump. However, we are saying going forward, we want to actually bring those prices to minimize the gap between the international market price and our local price. And that is where the adjustment comes in. So going forward, what are we doing? We then say, let us adjust our local price, however, mindful of the fact that This is a very sensitive commodity in terms of other sectors, and it contributes so much to the output in other sectors. Then the ministry only passed a portion of that under recovery, which was more than $1, and the remainder actually have to be absorbed by the government through the National Energy Fund. And that is how the actual cost for October is then have impact on what we do in the following month, which is November.
So also this means then that the Energy Fund will entirely cover these under recoveries?
Yes.
All right. Now, Mr. Abednego, Namibia is considered to be a price taker. For our viewers who might not understand what this means, please explain it to us.
Yeah, the country is a price taker in the sense that currently we do not yet have crude oil resources of our own, and we also do not have crude oil refineries that if we had these things, we can use this to hedge against these volatilities in the international oil market. But unfortunately, we do not have crude oil resources of our own, and as well as crude oil refineries of our own. So when our importers go out into the international oil market, they have to pay the price that have been set by OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, as well as other major oil producers such as the Russian Federation. So in that sense, the country is a price taker. And also just to add on what the director was saying, the NEF will cover the under recoveries for October to the tune of over 120 million. And that is very important because the government was supposed to increase. If it wasn't for the NEF, the government was going to increase or pass on the full under recoveries to consumers. But then actually the NEF is now stepping in with this approximately 120 million to soften the burden on consumers.
All right. Now, what are some of the possible effects of the fuel increases on the Namibian economy?
Obviously, the increases will have a macroeconomic impact on the economy in the sense that, as the director was saying, fuel is a driving force in almost all industries in the economy. So when you increase the fuel prices, you will have an inflationary impact on the prices of goods and services in the economy. Goods such as bread, services such as transportation, all these things, we might see an increase in their prices.
All right. Now, according to your observation, Mr. Ekandjo, is fuel prices still expected to increase again over the next few months in 2021?
What the ministry is currently observing is that the barrel prices, the oil barrel prices, are still pushing up, and the latest figures are nearing around $100 per barrel. So, and the exchange rate is also not favorable. The Namibian dollar is currently trading at around 15 Namibian dollars per US dollar. So a combination of these two factors is a good indicator that there is a possibility that we might see another increase moving into December. But the ministry will make that decision when the time comes.
Now, Ms. Neke, could you please share with us your final remarks briefly, please?
From the ministry perspective, we understand that we are now living in the critical season time, and this is really time that some of the activities in our country which are critical to us in terms of food production and other components are being undertaken, and we will really do what we need to do in our power to actually make sure that the prices are controlled and they are reasonable, and we will not just go out and make decisions that will affect affect the economy so negatively, but we will look at all possible areas and everywhere that the government will need actually to do what has to do in its power. So we just would like our people to understand that, or consumers to understand that we are always in their shoe, and we will make sure that we keep the country wet as far as the petroleum product is concerned.
Well, Mrs. Neke, Mr. Ekandjo, thank you very much for being here this morning.
Thank you, Elago.
All right. Well, that was the director of the National Energy Fund, Saima Neke, as well as Abednego Ekandjo, who is an economist in the Ministry of Mines and Energy. And they were talking to us about the fuel increases that came into effect yesterday, the 3rd of November. When we return, Denver will be bringing us the 7 a.m. news highlights. Stay with us.